Hey everybody, it's Alex Meller at Capnion here. I'll open this video with a who cares question. Even if you're not impressed by ChatGPT, I hope it convinces you that there's some AI widget coming that could be relevant in business. And where will you get it? To skip to one punchline, I feel like a lot of people are coming to consensus that perhaps especially for larger organizations, what you want to do is self host your own open source large language model. And Meta, maker of Facebook, puts out a lot of stuff along these lines that you can just pick up. But it's also true that this lane requires some lift that you might find annoying. It requires more expertise. In the silly example where you're doing it all yourself, you'd have to do a lot more jiggling to handle. And it's nice to ask, is there someone I can just buy this from? And of course, right now, the obvious company to think about is OpenAI. This leads one into thinking about OpenAI as a business because let's say you're a big AI fan. You want to do a lot of stuff with AI. You think AI is the future. Well, if it's about the future and you're looking for a partner to support you doing AI, what is the future of that company? And OpenAI raises a whole lot of interesting questions. It's been very ballyhooed that they raised a lot of money at a high valuation recently. And of course, this is a good sign, but for subtle reasons, there's something that should scare you a little bit here, in that when you're talking about valuations into the tens of billions of dollars, and now they're well over 100 billion, they're getting to the point where there's just not enough VC money in the whole world, and they're going to have to go public. Going public is pretty legally heavy duty, and they have been on a weird journey where they started as a not for profit research lab. I don't think anybody's seen anything like this before, and if you don't trust me, you can look up Elon Musk ranting about it. So it's just a very weird journey, and why are they on it? The for profit conversion is ironic because they are not remotely profitable. The name OpenAI is quite ironic because they are closed about a great many things to an unusual degree. And in particular, being presently a private company, they don't have to give detailed information about their finances out, like a publicly traded company on the stock exchange would. However, to the extent anybody has any visibility, they're losing huge amounts of money, and maybe even to the extent they have revenue, they are offering the products that generate that revenue at a loss. And this is not that unusual for a Silicon Valley startup. What's unusual is how big they are and how much money they're going through and how much danger they are in of slamming into a wall. I'm certainly much more optimistic about OpenAI than I ever was about WeWork. But WeWork is a great famous case study in what can go wrong here. They were this darling startup, a private company. When you're a private company, you have to make less people happy. They got real big to where there was really nowhere for them to go but an IPO. And Wall Street's a different type of customer, asked a lot more questions about, well, what is your road to profitability like? Are you ever going to make money? And there weren't good answers to that question. And in the rear view, it looks a lot like WeWork's business model was reselling office space at a loss, and there was never any kind of way to be profitable. LLM is very expensive. I don't know with authority what a road to profitability for a company like OpenAI would look like, but it could be tough, and it could be a very different deal than people are getting right now. So to bring it back to the beginning, where you're somebody that thinks AI is the future and you want to do things with it, you're making some kind of decision like, do I want to self-host something open source, or would I like to buy something I can use out of the box? And I've spoken elsewhere. If you have no guardrails at all and you just want to build something cool, it's pretty amazing to work with the ChatGPT API over the web. You can get someplace very exciting without a whole lot of overhead. And there is this amazing technology in it, and they've totally encapsulated it for you. So that's great, but now we get to think about this partner and what could go wrong with this partner. Well, scenario number one is that at some point down the road, the deal changes a lot and you've built some part of your business around LLM. Suddenly, OpenAI is under trouble to actually make money and the prices go way up, and maybe you're just stuck. You depend on them. You could also read deeper into the newspaper. All these companies are trying very hard to make sure you don't have anybody else to buy from down the road. Scenario number two is that OpenAI at some point has a WeWork kind of implosion of approximately they vacuum up all the realistic investor money in the world. They have to go public. If you follow finance news, the Wall Street crowd is already getting grumpy and suspicious about AI being a financial black hole that's not ever really going to turn a profit for anybody, except maybe Nvidia is having a really great time. So maybe OpenAI is heading into their IPO and it goes really badly, or it goes badly a little bit down the road after they're public and they're selling stuff at a loss, don't actually have a route to being profitable, and you just can't buy stuff from them anymore. And you've got a whole lot of plans built around buying stuff from them. If you're a business leader, these are very important, unsexy questions to keep on your radar. AI is very exciting. The existence of an exciting technology does not necessarily imply the existence of a product that you can buy from a vendor that's going to give you access to that technology. And you need to look down the road and make sure you don't get caught blind unpleasantly.